Okay, good morning, group 14. So let's see what's your status. Crystal, you can continue to share your screen.
Okay. Oh, it's disabled. I think need
Oh,
to.
right, sorry. Done.
Okay. Yeah, so from last week, like we actually had like a many, like we present like a bunch of the whole Egyptian culture.
Mm-hmm.
So then we decided to just choose one from from all that we have researched. So we chose like Egyptian mask. Yeah, that. So my group mates will present on their parts.
The Egyptian mask.
Yeah.
The mask, mask meaning the head, the face side.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to be very clear about that. Why you're not focusing on the entire sarcophagus or the whole thing? Why you're not the whole, not the head, not other parts? And you got to be clear. The mask, as in the facial, what the you have to define. You got the definition of the Egyptian mask. What's the definition of?
Okay.
What do you how is that being defined here in the first thing that you have to communicate? Egyptian mask, as in the face. Um, yeah, because it's very symbolic. Okay,
Okay.
continue.
So, from the Middle Kingdom to the first century, the ancient Egyptians placed masks on the face of their dead to help their soul recognize their own body and return to it. So, early masks were made from wood. Of course, it is for the lower class. Lower dead mask was made from precious metals such as gold
You don't have to,
or
you don't
gold.
have to read the slide. This is not a formal presentation thing. I can just read it for myself. You just have to, if there's anything you want to explain. You see, when you're presenting a slide, don't read from it because we can read it. You see, whoever your audience are, they can read your text. The reason why you put the text there is for us to read it. So we are reading it. So don't bore your audience by repeating what you put, repeating the text on the slide. Don't have to mention those. But what we expect from you is for you to explain uh, what's behind this. What's your purpose for this? What's your purpose for the first slide? You see, so that is your own notes which you don't show us. So take note of that. So when you're explaining this, Fanny, don't pressure yourself in talking. Don't pressure yourself in trying to read this correctly. You got to explain what you understand from it. So what do you understand from what you're trying to tell us from the origin of the mask in your own explanation? So that's just take note of that. Okay, go to the next slide. I understand this. Okay, all right, continue. Egyptian spelling, Tion. Third line. But never mind, you can correct it later. Continue. Fanny, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can continue. You got something to explain here?
This slide is for Xing I not prepared for it.
Sorry?
This slide is for Xing the other
Oh,
member.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Then I'll just have a look. If any one of you want to explain anything here, then go ahead. All right, anyone? Okay. Don't forget Egyptian mask. The Egyptian, the top, the title got spelling. Okay, Egypt. GYY is missing. The third line, TION. Very watch your spelling when you prepare your presentation. Okay, go to the next slide. Okay, we got all these different represent.
Yeah, different representative of the mask.
Good,
Yeah,
different representation. The
yeah.
you said representative. You
Oh,
represent.
sorry.
So you understand the word representation. Good,
Yeah.
but that is not mentioned here. So you don't need to
Uh,
say there are many masks or whatever, or maybe you just keep the text there.
mm-hmm.
You're explaining this is what you must say. Look, so there are different representation of the mask. As you can see, there is a few masks representing the initial pharaohs or queens. I just say like that,
Okay.
so no need to read everything that you put on the slide, okay? Because you must tell us like telling a story. So because when you put the text on the slide, you see, we will understand what to look for and what to read. But what you are saying will support what we are reading. So
Okay.
that is how presentations work. Okay. So that's
Okay.
important. Otherwise, your audience are not going to understand anything. They're probably going to get bored. Okay. So because you whatever your direction is, it has to lead to what is so special about what you're doing. It will lead to that. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Next slide.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So the adjacent mask got two types. One is the dead mask, and then the other one is the ritual mask. The dead mask, the famous was the
Mm,
Tutankhamun dead mask, and then the ritual mask is Anubi mask. The
mm,
priest will wear the Anubi mask during the dead rituals of the Egyptian, and the effect of this ritual mask created a daunting illusion of Anubis.
I see.
Oh, that's all
Okay.
from my part.
I see.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Yeah, like that. Explain it like that. I no need to read anything. Good. Is nicer to hear you speak than to read. Reading, I can read lah anytime. If I while you're talking, I can look at it. So good, right? So the function. So you just explain the function. So there's a function of the mask. That's a keyword. That it has its function and the role that the person who's wearing the mask is very important those days. Good. Okay. Next.
So like for like most Egyptian art, these masks also served a functional purpose, and it's related to their ideologies about the afterlife.
Mm,
And the most important part of it is for the deceased, the soul to recognize their own body, so that they can be judged and then led to the realm of the dead.
mm,
Uh, yeah, that's the most important part of the um, death mask, actually. And as Zinyi has already said, the Anubis mask, it's one of the only three surviving masks, and since it was worn by the priests, it was the only one that allowed the wearer to speak.
mm.
So this is like the most significant part of the Egyptian masks.
So this. So now you analyze your presentation. This points back to the first slide, which is representation. So there's a connection between again all mask is connected through its representation, like what you just said. How do you know that this is related to afterlife? Because what it represents, you know? Okay, all right, next. Research problem, okay.
Yeah, so well, research, yeah, the research problem is we want to preserve the art and culture of the Egypt mask through the modern generation.
Who wants to preserve?
Hmm. We as
You?
the, I mean, we as the, the young like the young modern generation, like wants to preserve the art and culture of the Egypt mask.
I don't think preserve is the word for it, you know. What is the theme did you chose here?
We chose preservation, but we weren't sure whether was it preservation or assimilation.
Okay, preservation is a very big word. Okay, assimilation is also a very big word. These are very, very general themes. But under preservation, what is the point? What is your point of preservation then? Because to be frank, uh, they are already doing that. Everybody's doing that. I mean, they've been doing that for what? Decades and decades and decades. What you're saying you want to preserve is not new. Because a lot of people are preserving. So what's the point? What are you doing with it? And what are the problem that you really see in terms of what area? When you mention about mask, you talk about representation. So what kind of thing that you notice about mask here in this case? Are you focusing on the visual? Are you focusing on the design? Kind of like Art Deco, right? Kind of like Art Nouveau. Is this their kind of Art Nouveau during Egyptian times? Their version of it? So what is that? Is that what you're trying to see? Um, what is the real problem that you have seen when you want to think preserve the art and culture, or you want to signify the preservation? Maybe if you want to use preserve, maybe use preservation or retaining, or if you want to preserve, what are you preserving then? You got to be very, very specific. Are you preserving the something specific? You can't just say preserving the art culture of Egypt mask. Oh my gosh, that is huge. That is massive.
Yeah.
What specific area? I'm sure you know that, but you just maybe using the terms here. The sentence here is very maybe general, but maybe you can just put exactly what you're trying to do here. So what is the research problem? Research problem is actually a question mark. It is not a statement. It's a question mark. You know what's a research problem? Research problem is like, um, is like, let's say you got a C minus for the subject when you expected to get A. So that's a research problem there, right?
Yeah.
The research problem is some specific research problem. Um, to what extent of my hypothesis or my writings in my research methodology have contributed to a weak assessment in the area of whatever. To what extent? Or there's more like a research question, but a research problem is like it appears that the writings of my research methodology have did not signify enough key areas about Art Nouveau, in spite of mentioning Art Nouveau in a more decorative manner. It appears. So that's a research problem. It appeared that this has happened because the first problem is before you wrote that, well, the results of your research methodology paper came out with a C minus, but you were very confident that you got an A. However, it appears that so that's a research problem. So a reacher's problem is like a story, like a short paragraph that explains your observation.
Okay.
So what did you, so you have made some observations about the Egyptian mask. So what were your observations? Refresh my mind. Last week we spoke about something about the Egypt. Did we pinpoint anything? You have done some discussions right before this. Is there anything that you
I think we actually put it in the rationale, the small paragraph.
let's see? Let's see that.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, wait. The Egyptian civilization was one of the most powerful. Okay. However, the mask and its different uses is not prevalent knowledge in the modern world. And we believe that the mask and with it, the arts and culture education should be preserved. Again, it's okay. It's a good starting point, but not specific enough. You say, however, the mask and its different uses is not prevalent knowledge in the modern world. You must put a citation there. What do you mean? Or you have any research to support that? Has anyone said that? Anyone else have said that? You know, or you can be very specific. However, based on observation, based on online research or online information or data gathered from several websites or data gathered from a trust or on a reliable research site concerning Egyptian mask, the user it appears or it seems you should it seems or it appears that um, the the decorative element of the mask of the Egyptian or the Egyptian design element prevalent on Egyptian mask does not seem to be significant in modern contemporary art and design. That is more specific. If you put like this, we still don't know exactly what you're referring to. Okay, so
Okay, so
you know what I mean. So you got to be very specific. Okay, and we believe that the mask. Okay, you got to appear that you got to avoid words like we believe, because when you do a study about design or if you do a little research about design, it's nothing to do with belief, nothing to do with faith. It's to do with science. It's to do with tangible, and nothing can be assumed or confirmed. You cannot. Nobody will know anything. So you must say it is possible that the mask and with it, or it may it um, uh, um, and there may be uh, instances that something you don't, but you just don't use the word believe or anything to do with instinctual kind of assumption. Okay, so
okay.
yeah, so and it's possible that the mask and all the design elements that comes with it, all the Egyptian design elements that comes with it, um, have have strong influences in many areas of contemporary art and design. So your intention is to expose this and to promote this more because you feel there's a richness of it. And it's maybe what you're saying here, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe what you're saying here is that the um, it's taken for granted. Yeah, that's probably what you're saying. You're saying that the Egyptian design elements with from the ancient Egyptian design elements have been largely taken for granted and uh, pretty much confined to areas of fashion, for example, eyeliners and things like that. but don't forget, Egyptian design elements have also evolved and has influences in other cultures, have, because they traveled, trade and things like that. Egyptian fashion clothes have moved to Middle East, the rest of the Middle East and India, and you can see some of those influences because ancient Egyptian civilization was one of the earliest civilization. So, it's all connected. What will be good if you have mapped out, draw a map, you know, of what you want to connect with it. It will be very, very good. And in the center of the map is your intention, promoting the ancient Egyptian design elements and specifically on masks. So then you have a slide showing the Tutankhamun mask, the golden one, and put arrows pointing to all these significant design elements. And what are they? Like specifications, like schematics. What are these? What is so special about that? What are your observations on this? These are what you mean by Egyptian art design elements. So that the title of the slide is ancient Egyptian design elements on masks. So you have the mask and you see this. And maybe there's so many types of masks. Maybe you're focusing on the Anubis and that. So you're going to see what's so special with Anubis, what's so special with this. Or maybe you're focusing on a more human face. So you're not going to focus on all the other non-human deities of ancient Egypt. Do you follow? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So, but you wrote the rationale. I think you don't put it as rationale. You put that as research problem. The rationale is something like an abstract. What is this about? If you want to put the rationale, you put it as what is this about? This should be the very, very beginning. That means the rationale for the project, or project rationale. Okay. Basically, the project. That means this project is about creating intercultural design. Idea is proposing the rationale at this slide presents a proposal of the intercultural design idea based on understanding the culture, the ancient Egyptian design elements within the ancient Egyptian culture, focusing on ancient Egyptian masks, something like that. So, so that, and the intention of this project is to create what dot dot dot. So that's it. That's the rationale. Simple. Okay. So basically, when you put that, then oh, so this is what this is about. Okay, tell us more. It's like a rationale or an abstract is like the cover of a book. When you open the cover of a book, you see a short paragraph explaining this, and then you want you to turn the next page and then read the contents. That's how a rationale works. Okay, so now this is more like the research problem because you have the beginning part, which is the introduction, and then you have the contention, and then what the intention. The contention is, however, the mass is not prevalent. So you focus on, there's one like a statement there that says that this is based on your observation. There is something that you want to add on, or something you want to improve, or something you want to observe more, or whatever. Okay. And then after that, um, so it is the intention or the purpose of this. This would lead to the understanding or the promotion of the art and design, ancient Egyptian art and design elements, and applying it to modern contemporary art and design would lead to a more would lead to a new definition of how this can be expressed in the new normal, or for example, and and so on. So there you go, finish. Okay, so you have that as your research problem. Now go back to the research problem again. Research problem. Okay. So again, now the mandatory of preserving the art and culture of Egyptian masks through modern generation. So be specific. Art and design, you got to be very specific. What is it? The thing. Now, I haven't asked you that question yet, but go to the next slide. Okay. Okay, still very general, not specific enough. Okay, still very general, not specific enough. All right. Now, research objective is basically what you want to do for this project, the outcome. I mean, like for example, research objective is connected to the research question. Okay, so now to determine the provident methods or how to preserve, you're not archaeologists, you're designers. You sound like you're archaeologists, like you're trying to unearth this mask and preserve it. That's not the point. But I understand, because I'm being a facilitator, I understand in your group of designers, you're trying to do some kind of art and design. You're trying to preserve something. Is it identity? Is it what? So that's a big question mark. Okay, so you got to be specific. Like the research objective is to design what? What do you intend to do, guys? What do you have as the end product? What are you imagining the end product to be?
Uh, we, we were thinking of doing a board game.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Go
So
on.
yeah, we were thinking of doing a board game based on the Egyptian mask. Like the main, like like the main thing will be the Egyptian mask, and will revolve around the afterlife, and also a little bit of the Egyptian culture in it.
Why game? How is
Like
that connected to the mask?
mm, it's more like a fun way to like educate people about it.
Masks.
Mm, yeah.
Uh, uh, Actually, the Egyptian art is very functional, so all of the art has a purpose, and even the mask serves a purpose by being part of the funerary rites of
Okay.
their culture. So through the game, we like want to show the uh, not the details of like the mummification or things like that, but we want to focus on the mask and the actual like the meaning behind is that it that Egyptian arts and culture has a lot to do with the afterlife and their beliefs on afterlife. I think that's how we went to that end product.
Yeah, sounds a bit confusing actually, because I don't know. I don't think it's the right choice. But I like the game idea. Heck, I teach game studies, so you hit the nail on the head when it comes to that. But the thing is, when it comes to mask, I don't see how you can. I mean, why should you design a game? I thought you just said you want to preserve the. So you want to preserve the art culture of Egyptian through a board game. But do you know Egypt has games, ancient board games?
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen those? You
Yeah.
looked it
I've
up, right?
seen one that is called Senet.
Ah,
Hmm.
Senet. That's right.
It's
Correct.
yeah.
I suppose if you were to look into art and culture of Egypt and you focus on Senet and how did Senet come to be, the history of Senet in ancient Egypt, I think then creating a board game is perfect solution. You're already preserving that culture through Senet. A redefinition of Senet in contemporary art and design approach in the new normal. I mean, for example, the research problem would be very simple. How do you place Senet online during this
Hmm.
time? How do you place Senet using augmented reality? how do you play a modern version of Senet, incorporating different themes, but on the with the base of ancient Egyptian style? Now, do you know the history of the Senet game?
Mm, not really. I have not read. I have not read through the whole thing.
Um, I think, right. Wait. I read it once. If I'm maybe I don't want to give you the wrong info. Let's see, Hounds and Jackals. Um, basically, it's like this. It has origins. Ancient Egyptian board games has origins or games in ancient cultures has generally, like I explain, give you a general description. Um, has connection to major upheavals in the society. For example, in Egypt, what is the most prevalent major thing that happens was famines. Famine and some kind of bad weather or something like that, where people will start to get worried. Some countries as well, in Greece and also ancient times, they have all these issues that will make the people worried. And what the rulers will do is they'll encourage their leaders to create entertainment. And entertainment came about because as a form of a distraction, and that will reduce the anxiety of the people and things like that. So ironic, right? It has its
Yeah.
roots in that situation, from that kind of situation, and ironic now we are in a pandemic. So isn't that a lot more appropriate for you to study? But
Yeah.
design, so the Senet game is very cultural,
Yeah.
and you're bringing Senet to contemporary art and design approach, and answering a very uh, convincing research problem, which is how can it be done during this time, and that will give you a stronger purpose, you know, and and it's a lot easier to do, and it's a lot faster to think about, easier to think about, rather than struggling to connect mask with board game. I no, really, really disjointed,
Mm.
so I say that, I mean, am I making sense to you guys, or you disagree, agree? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I agree. It just made me realize, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. Mm,
Rest of you, you have any comments on what I comments about my comments?
uh, I'm just worried that we'll have to do a whole like redo a lot of work for Monday, but I think that makes more sense than trying to connect the mask and the board game.
Um, you got two options. You can either continue with the mask and change the idea of your outcome, or use Senet because you're still in Egyptian culture. Nothing has changed in terms of that. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
and you don't need to worry about you're not redoing much at all, because everything you explained was very general in the first place. Just had to delete the word mask. um,
Mm.
and research of Senet is tons of it online. There's also research articles on Senet games, which Senet games is constantly
Yeah.
being played now as well by game board enthusiasts. I don't have a, I don't see Senet being sold in this country, but I really am interested to maybe one day buy one online. But I think it'd be good to watch. So there are videos on YouTube on Senet. Gosh, there are tons of material online which contributes to the first tier of your online ethnography data, your your initial data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, I don't think it's difficult. Doesn't seem you
And
can do this within a day.
I was wondering if we chose to go with the mask,
Right.
what should we couldn't figure out an end, like an outcome, at the end. Like we couldn't figure out what would suit our problem, but probably because our problem is so vague.
Well, you see the I think it is more like a discovery of what the mask how the mask contributes. But you, like, again, you got to point out and look, you have to analyze the design. It's like just like analyzing a painting, analyzing any a brand or a logo, or just like that. Even the logo, even the typography, a font has its characteristics, the ligature, the kerning, the serif, the whatever, and the points and picas, all that sort of thing. So every single thing is significant, right? They contribute to positioning, they contribute to character, they contribute to representation. um, it has its artistic value. Similarly, the ancient Egyptian mask is like that too. You just have is real you have to really focus on what is it that you want to look at. So you got to point, you got to look at those lines, those colors. Why are they there? You got to see it like a point of view of a 6-year old. Why do they have lines like that? Point an arrow there and question mark and find out. All right, Aishat, you find out about those lines, those headgear. Fanny, you find out about those eyeliners. Why are those eyeliners and where are they right now? Are they still being used? Shin Yi, you find out about the shape of the eyes. Why how are they consistent with the shape of the eyes in Renaissance painting to pop art and da 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 da, da, for example, things like that. um so maybe if you want to focus on something like mask, you're focusing on the elements of the art and design there. What elements are you looking at? The color gold, you know so the gold thing is interesting. What does that really mean? Also, you probably have done some research on that. So what if you create you know maybe we can just bring it back like a time jump. If you bring back Tutankhamun's sarcophagus to contemporary times, what will that be? We call it, have you ever seen a tailor's university, let's say, or no, no, let's say the design school website using a whole Egyptian theme. And a three-dimensional sarcophagus spins around, and as the sarcophagus turns around, you see the you know that's what I'm talking about. So you could just click on it, it interacts with you, the sarcophagus opens and something happens. Welcome to ancient Egypt, we have the glory of design. Da, 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 da. Crap. uh, I don't know, a lot of ideas. So you maybe you just looking to reuse some of those design elements. So maybe it's reusing it. Maybe the research problem is it's not being reused enough. They're so awesome. Maybe we can reuse. We have more gold. Let's have more gold in lines. Maybe the symbolic representation of ancient Egyptian elements is the lines and gold. So let's say if you draw a square, then a little bit of lines and gold, the lines like almost rainbow like, and can tell. And if it's gold, huh, that looks like a piece of Tutankhamun sarcophagus, but it'll make a very good badge design, or that sort of thing. So you could, or it could be a little icon. Maybe you just want to create desktop themes, icons, um, something as simple as that. Maybe
So,
wearable
uh,
design. Yeah.
so basically do something like a visual analysis of the Egyptian culture, and then
No,
what if
visual analysis
so of the mask?
of
Yeah,
a
of the
specific mask.
mm.
Maybe this one specific. Don't say Egyptian culture
Ah.
again. Very broad. You got
Okay.
learn to be specific. What is it? Which part of it? It's huge
Okay.
culture. Yeah.
Mm.
It could very well be the Egyptian the visual analysis of the Senet board game itself, because it has a specific design there, and how it
Yeah.
evolved, and material plays a very important part. So if it's a net board game, then the material, like today, those days, if they say carve that out from specific cedar wood or whichever, that is luxury for them. That is their version of a digital thing. But for ours, augmented reality, virtual reality or mixed reality kind of Senet board games. We are heading towards that direction now. So how will that be done? So I really like the augmented reality approach. I think that's so relevant to now, and I think that will be a very good outcome. Okay, but again, this boils down to you guys, because you're doing a presentation online, so there has got to be some kind of interactive element to it. Now if it's a visual analysis of mask, or a board game, then not no if it's a board game, then maybe it's interactive. So you retain the theme of preservation either way. So I'm going to leave it to you guys to make that choice.
So I had a question.
Yeah.
At the end, can it be like a so we're doing an analysis and then we're trying to recreate the an art piece using the design elements found in the mask?
You're not
Can it
recreating.
be an art piece?
You are innovating.
Reinventing?
Innovating.
All right.
Innovating. You're adding value to an ancient style. You're bringing the ancient style to modern now.
Yeah.
So you're not recreating it, because if you're recreating, you're replicating it. You may be recreating by replicating it or whatever, but I think you're doing something better than that. You're doing something more relevant to what the audiences want to see, and what the designers want to see now. So you got to have, so I think
Okay.
the right term is, but yet you're preserving it. So you're preserving the base understanding of that. So you're just bringing the that visual analysis to now. What's happening now, and what are you going to do about that now? How are you going to do that now? Very, very, very simple lah. Don't be don't I think you guys were too anxious about. I think you guys were stuck in a box. I think you were stuck in a box. I sensed that. You couldn't see how, because let me tell you this. Let me tell you the truth, guys. All of you, listen carefully. If you cannot see, if you cannot state a problem before designing anything, you won't be able to design anything, because design is based on problems. Design is about solving problems. Just like Apple phone, right? The first iPhone that came out, I remember, not sure whether you guys were born at that time, but when the first iPhone came out, okay, Um, Now, before the first iPhone came out, all the phones had buttons on it. So it always used to be this fancy question, or we only see it in science fiction movies. Like in Star Trek, I could see they all just touching the screens, like, wow, if only that was real. If only that it was that convenient. Next thing you know, the iPhone came out. And hell, you can touch the damn screen and something works. And from the looks of it, a monkey can operate it. So it's like, why did that happen and how did that happen? Came from the need. There's a need for it. There is the need came from the need it was the problem. It's based on the problem is it's not user friendly, it's got manufacturing problems, it's mechanical issues and a lot of problems. And then finally then what will be the main need for the users? So because they analyze what the users want, the users are us. The users are the people, everyday people. They're the consumers, and they're the ones going to they're going to invest in the product. So you can come up with something that will make create an opportunity. So there you go. You addressed it. What if you just so when it comes to the ideation part, wow, what if we can just touch? So we call in they call in the engineers, we call in all the experts and all the transdisciplinary group team engineered it into existence. So and there you go. You got the iPhone, and now we've got every other phone has the same thing. Imagine that's a revolution. Now, in the same way, when you're looking at different cultures, unfortunately we can't travel to Egypt, but since you're seeing this online, you're looking at existing data online. I mean, that's the point in ethnography. So the ethnography is like you getting the information from online. Okay, so now having seeing all that and being conscious of your role as designers and being conscious that you have a goal and objective to design to propose an intercultural design idea. What are you going to do with your interests? What are you going to do with this area of interest? You got to look at the design issue. Then look at the visual design issue. Are all of you animators? All of you
Mm,
animators?
no.
No, no.
Okay. Then what are all
We
of you are?
just learned basic. We learned basic animation last semester.
But you all going to specialize in animation, is it?
No.
Not all of us.
Okay, what are you all specializing in?
Mine is entertainment design.
Mm, okay.
I'm doing new media.
Huh? New media. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds to me you guys should do something really entertaining. Something yeah, I think let's do a really interactive um presentation piece concerning Senet or concerning the Egyptian mask. Or if it's going to be Egyptian mask, make it augmented reality. For example, when you do your presentation, whoever is watching the presentation, pop, the mask appears on their face. And like, oh, wow, wow, look at that. Or you could, maybe your whole goal is try to create one augmented reality, use one app. Maybe the inside that app can design, you can actually upload a design. You can upload or you upload something that when we look at your presentation, we take our phones, as long as we have that app, and then you go on that logo, the logo, maybe you create a mask as the logo or something, and then holy shit, oh yeah, if I do that, and maybe you guys, yeah, that's right, maybe you guys wear that logo on your face so that mask appears on your face, and not things like that. Have you used an augmented reality app?
Mm, No.
Start using one. Start experimenting today.
Mm, okay.
Come on, guys. You come on. All right. You're going to be in new media and entertainment design. This is like, all right. Has to be something you should know. All right. So get cracking on it. And I think, but you got to make some decision now. You got to decide. All right. So Monday is your presentation. So today is Thursday. It's it's not difficult. Still not difficult. All you need to do is make a decision. Okay. And the rest of you see, you're working as a team. All right. From the looks of it, Aishat and Crystal are the only vocal ones. The rest are not as vocal, but you're contributing. I believe you're contributing, and you're meeting up together, and you're contributing, and you're vocal as well. But maybe here, to me, I'm not hearing from you enough. But I'm going to put some trust and faith that you guys are vocal enough among yourself. But as you work in a team, it's also not wrong to determine who's going to sell the idea, determine which sub team within your team is going to be in charge of the graphic work, who's going to be in charge of ethnographic data compilation and things like that, and one person compile the slide like that. So you work together. Nobody is not doing anything. So I think if you pull your resources together in each other's abilities, you can get this done really well.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
I know you guys can do this. You got to decide which one. And personally, I really like. I want you guys to do something as more towards the your area, guys. Entertainment design, new media. Yeah, go look at augmented reality. Something that all of us could really immerse ourselves in, play around with. Can you imagine every of your slide have an augmented reality logo? That every of your slide we have to use our phones and just say, wow, we can do that. And then look at you and then look at that. And and all of you wear maybe a collar or something. There'll be something on you that probably would enable this something. You got to find a way for us to interact with your presentation. And how are you going to play Senet via Zoom, for example? If you're going to design a board game, then do a simple board game, okay, and it looks great. It's got the base understanding of Senet, base gameplay. You don't need to design, waste your time. You only got 7 weeks, so you don't need to design a new gameplay, totally new gameplay. Just maybe add one or two things. That's it. Make it more like now kind of situation. That's it. You're just using the same gameplay as Senet. But the catch is transfer it to Zoom. How do you do it on Zoom? And how do you know, and there is augmented reality dice and whatever. um yeah, so mask, if you want to go with mask, then just focus on how you want to capture the visual effects of the Egypt mask, as a style, maybe as a stylized version of that. Maybe it's focused on gold and the lines, okay, and the eyeliner. So then maybe during a presentation, all of you have painted face and eyeliners, looking very Egyptian. It's and then you have the gold as your presentation. It's purposely done. It's almost like you're becoming more campy. You're trying to bring. It's almost like you're becoming some of those famous like very pop arty. It's like you're preserving. Maybe you're combining Egyptian art and design, ancient art and design Egypt or the Tutankhamun's golden mask. You're bringing forward, you're combining it with pop art, or you're or to camp or kitsch or something postmodern version of it. Maybe it's a performance, online performance. Maybe it's maybe the Egyptian culture. You're focused on the philosophy of that mask. Maybe it's the philosophy of it. Yeah. So I mean, I've seen so many different kinds of art and design students. Doesn't matter which area of art and design or design, but they come up with very strange concepts and interesting concepts. Conceptual thinking can be, as long as you're clear in what you want to show, you're specific, then the outcome can be anything, really anything. So all starts with what you want to focus on. Starts with that, the problem, the very specific problem, and you got to decide there and take it from there. Okay. So this is what I will do. If you want my help, I can help you review. So make some changes, make some decisions. I can help you review. Just send me PDF. You can send me through WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay.
I can have a look at that PDF and I can give comments. Okay. I can help you
Okay.
do that. So I'm contactable through WhatsApp outside of our tutorial time.
Yeah,
If
that
you
would
will
be great.
send you, when do we send, like,
Anytime between now and Sunday, just
okay,
just time. I'll try my best to reply immediately. Usually I'll reply as soon as I can, but I might be cooking or I might be in my garden, you know. So yeah, I might be doing some stuff. So but when I check, if I see that, I'll try. Yeah, don't worry. I will give you feedback because I know you're on the clock. You have you're short of time, so I can help that way, right? But I can't decide for you. You guys need to make that decision, right? Yeah.
okay. So are we all going to present, like, are all the groups going to present on Monday? Like,
Not all, I think. I think Mr. Hasrizal might have a schedule for it.
okay.
I don't know lah. I don't think so lah. There's just too many groups, right? So I don't think.
Yeah, I think there's like 16 groups, I think, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
I don't think all
Yeah.
groups can lah. It could be the
Okay.
Monday and
I heard him saying Monday, half of it be on Monday, then the other half will be on
or
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that makes more sense actually.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot of groups. I mean, even the half is
Yeah.
on
I think each group have like 10 to 15
yeah,
minutes only. Yeah.
yeah, the four of us looking at all half group presenting also will be like and online some more.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna have a bottle of whiskey right here. just just to make it last.
Mm,
But don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fun. That's the reason why I told you, I don't know when you're going to present your slides. I told the other three groups under me as well, I advised them, don't read your slide. Avoid too much text because of the number of presentations that your lecturers are going to watch, your audience are going to look at. The moment they see all the text and the moment we hear somebody reading it, our brain was shut down.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be hard for us to pay attention. So you're going to have, it's your responsibility as the presenter, as the designer, to keep us interested. Yeah. So all these tips I'm giving you, right, free of charge. Like no, actually you paid for it. I'm just messing with you. Sorry, I'm just joking. Anyway, you already paid for it, so okay. Right. You paid for my services.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's true. You did. Okay. So thank you for paying for my services. I'll provide my services the best that I can.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. You guys have any other question? Shinyi, Fanny, and Sinhui. It could be short video also, right? A short clip or a short video.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You guys decide what would be the best way to do it. Because remember, you are presenting it online. You know.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
Shinyi, you got no questions. I hope you guys can. I hope I was clear to. If anyone not clear, just let me know if you guys run into any roadblocks or anything. Any advice? Just feel free to text. Okay.
Which is more like brain block than road block.
Don't worry. I hope it's not blocked anymore. I mean, don't block yourself. That's what I can say. Just don't block yourself. You guys believe in yourselves. That's where the faith and belief comes in. When it comes to matters of emotion and the mental state, um,
Yeah.
just believe in yourselves and don't get so stressed and don't pressure yourself. Don't think that don't, don't don't think don't try to impress us. Huh? Don't try to impress us. You have no one to impress to except for yourselves. Okay. What we are doing is because the hard part, you're doing the hard part. The the just remember the thing, my advice, as long as it's clear and you're specific on what you want to do, and you're specific about the problem, and your questions are focused, you know exactly what you want to do. Okay, there's only one thing we really never talked about. It's like trying to get response and feedback from others, that part. But don't worry about that at this point right now, because you need to get that research problem right.
Okay.
So you got so okay, in summary, before we end, you got two things to focus on. Either one. You got the characteristics, the art and design characteristics of the mask, the visual analysis of the mask, as what you said, Aishat, and then you have the Senate board game. Because I meant we talked about board games a lot because of your original intention was to connect the board game to mask. Yeah, because yeah. So because it's very hard to, it will take a lot more work to do that. I rather you focus because the Egyptian board games are also
Yeah.
very popular.
Mm.
So so now we have converted your one single path to two parts, which you need to take either one. So I'll leave that decision to you guys. Okay. So last call for questions. Anything else before we end?
Mm.
I
No
don't think so.
question. Yeah. For now.
All right. All right. Keep in touch. No worries. Contactable.
So,
Okay.
okay.
All right. That's it.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Stay safe.
You
Thank you,
too.
sir.
Bye.
Bye.